What's up, y'all? I mentioned something previously in a different video where I talked about sensory deprivation tanks. I didn't really give y'all like no elaborative background or nothing like that on it, but I want to talk about that as an alternative to mushrooms for a number of reasons. But let's go back to the beginning. Oh, wait a minute. Y'all ain't gotta look at my shirt, but y'all see this? And I got this on the back too, and it's real big. Yeah, exclusive Mushie Buddy gear, okay? The whole point of Mushie Buddy gear is one-of-one customs. You could be wearing this too. You're doing great, honey, okay? But no, let's talk about sensory deprivation tanks. What is it? A sensory deprivation tank is a float tank that contains water and like hundreds, if not thousands of pounds of salt. Whether you know how to swim or not is really not important. The tank is like, if you was to put your foot in it, the water would probably come up like, I want to say mid-calf, no higher than your knee, and possibly sometimes as low as your ankle. We love sensory deprivation tanks for a number of reasons, and I personally like it as an alternative to mushrooms because I did. Alright, so it's been an hour, post-float review. It was pretty cool. I ain't gonna do. I feel like it was relaxing, but I feel like this would be really good for people to like face their anxiety or face the things that they run from in their mind, especially if you like turn the lights off and, you know, just really relax. It is like stimulating to the skin. I feel like some of the toxins that may have been in my skin may have come out. I feel like if I hadn't have done shrooms, some of the like deep thinking aspects of this experience probably would have been some of the things that I experienced like when I did shrooms. So having done shrooms, it's like I don't have those things floating in my mind anymore because I've already addressed them. Would I do this again? Probably not. Only because, I don't know. Like after, I think like at the 40, like maybe 47-minute mark, I was like, I can comfortably sleep like this. You know, like I started having fun in there, and I don't think I was supposed to do that. I felt like I was telling myself like, pay attention, stop doing it, pay attention, right? But like for someone, for me to have this experience, would I give it a thumbs up? Yeah, it was a good experience to say I had it, to say I did it. Would I do it again? I don't think so. I was kind of distracted because my nails was glowing the whole time. So, well, there's that. But my skin does feel great. I will say that. My skin feels, you know what I'm saying? Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna go finish getting dressed, so yeah. Me and my cousin both went and did a sensory deprivation tank. Now, he does not practice in any type of inebriating substances beyond tequila because that is his thing. He don't smoke, he don't do hookah, he ain't pop no pills, he don't do shrooms, none of that. He is not trying to tamper with his psyche in any shape, form, or fashion. Me, however, y'all know I do shrooms a lot, okay? And there are a few things that I've gathered. One, a 60-minute float is too long. I think I'm one of them people who kind of got a little ADHD, but that's just because after doing something for so long, if I'm like not getting better at it, then I get bored with it. Like if there's not a lot to explore within something, I get bored with it real quick. So number one, my nails was glowing in the dark. So this whole time that you in this float tank, to start you off, you get in the tank, you know, the water is warm, it's a whole lot of salt, and you lay in it. They do advise you to take a shower first and to wash out any like oils that you may have in your hair or whatever the case may be, and to like rinse off before you get into the float tank. They had like soft music playing. At first it was a dimly lit light that was in there, but once your session starts for real, that music gets turned
the light is off, and the light that's like inside of it is off, and then the lights in the room go off as well. Sometimes sensory deprivation tanks can be in a pod, right? And that could be a thing too. 45 minutes was cool, but like at minute 46, I started trying to see the distance that I could float from where I was at to like the tip of the tank, and my fingertips touch or my toes touch or something like that. Yeah, really not, you know, not one of them things where it's like, oh, okay. Now, why would I suggest this as an alternative to shrooms? Well, it is a controlled environment where you can be one with your thoughts. There aren't things around to distract you. There aren't things around for you to hyperfixate on. And I don't want to say get you off your square, but there really aren't things that are gonna, you know, keep you not focused, if that makes sense. If I had never done shrooms before and I just did a sensory deprivation tank, I feel like it's a good way to address your anxiety. Like, I know that kind of sounds like a blanket statement, but I don't really know how else to put it. By definition, a hero dose is supposed to be done in the dark, alone, very much so in the same way that you are in a sensory deprivation setting. It's a way to like address your thoughts, clear your thoughts without an inebriation, because there are no distractions whatsoever. Some people say that they meditate in there. I can't meditate while I'm floating because I'm gonna be having too much fucking fun floating, and I feel like in order to meditate in an intentional way, there needs to be stillness, and that doesn't exist in a float tank. Maybe it's a level of discipline, but if I'm in water, it's to have fun or wash my ass, and I do both every day when I take a shower. So you know, yeah, in comparison to shrooms, again, it's a controlled environment, and from the way that my cousin explained it when we had our little breakdown and debriefing, it was just like the way that I could relax. He just said, like, I feel like I could finally relax. Like, it may be stuff that I may want to think about, but I'm so busy being paranoid about my surroundings that I can't even really fully focus on trying to, like, clear my mind. And I very much so understood where he was coming from on that. Like, at first it wasn't clicking, but then I'm like, no. Anytime that you are somewhere, you got to be cognizant of your surroundings. You got to be looking over your shoulder. You're hyper fixated on like, what was that sound? You know what I mean? And especially if you alone, like, there's just like everyday things, right? And so, is it a big deal? It's not that big a deal, but I think it's a great alternative. It's a place where you can't really run from your thoughts. You can think other things, but it's just a place that is just very quiet and still, and it's just you with you. I get why that works for a lot of people. If you've never done a sensory deprivation tanks, there are plenty of them, especially in Chicago. But there are sensory deprivation tanks or float tanks everywhere. My recommendation would be to do y'all research. Find one that is really nice, that got a lot of reviews. The one I